Happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of the Opening Kick. I'm as excited as ever to be here with my man, Smoke Dixon, already representing that title towel as Bama rolls into the Sweet 16. I don't know if you were paying attention, but March Madness is upon us, and the SEC walked in and flexed. One of those being, your Alabama Crimson Tide. But we got 7 going to the Sweet 16. We're going to talk about that tonight. My man, Smoke-tradamus, is seeing in his crystal ball a youth movement for the Crimson Tide this fall, and he wants to discuss that a little bit tonight. And then, with all the hoopla of maybe Philon being a top pick in the NBA draft, Jihaad Campbell, a few guys for that Tide football team going in the first round. Who is the top pro prospect at the Capstone? Might be surprised to find out who that is. So stick around, and you will tonight. But before you do that, hit that like and subscribe. If you're over on Twitter, X, whatever they call that thing now, come over to Bama Standard on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe to get all of your Bama content. But before we get going on this hot show, I got to tell you what's hot, and that's Lamstone Company, realrockstone.com. If you are building that dream home, do not wait. Go check them out today to get that beautiful natural stone you've always dreamed of. They can meet any of your stone project needs, whether it be in the garden or on the house. They're located in Aniana, Alabama. They're one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. And tell them we sent you using the promo code, the Bama Standard, and receive 10% off that purchase. And also, as you saw Smoke representing out of the gate, Title Towel Whitwheel Sports. If you are headed to that Sweet 16, don't go empty-handed. Have that title towel in hand. Give them the promo code Standard and receive 20% off so you can be, a winner with that title towel with the rest of us. With that said, Smoke, we're going to get to some Smoke-tradamus, so stay around. We're going to talk a little Bama football. But, guys, we're coming hot off March Madness, where the SEC absolutely flexed. Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Bama, Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn.
Maryland.
Maryland.
20-second timeout. 20-second timeout.
We're not take
20-second timeout. There's a birdie somewhere that went around, flew, and just pitched on my shoulder. They said you were involved in some type of parlay yesterday that Baltimore native Derek Queen crushed and sent you home. Just tell us a little bit about what happened yesterday, Mr. Pettey.
Maryland's just been like, they got us tonight. They got our women tied in double overtime. Miss Barker, Sarah Ashley Barker put up 43 in an effort, but that wasn't the Maryland sting that stung me the most. Yes, I'm in a survivor pool that pays a pretty penny. And there's like 50 people in it. And I might have already picked Duke in the day. So I was in the winner's bracket. And it came down to the Maryland game. And I look, and 40 people in our bracket are on Maryland. So if Maryland loses, it goes from like 50-something people down to 7. That means 7 dudes till I can win this thing, the $1,000, the gold, the glory, the victory. 6 seconds left, Colorado State hits a miracle 3. And I'm like, here we go. I'm in pay dirt. It's over. And little to my knowing, there stands a lottery pick on Maryland's side that says, no, I'm not done yet. Give me – and as a matter of fact, I think his coach said he got in the huddle, started drawing up a play, and Queen, a freshman, says, give me the MF and ball. That
right
kid
now
takes it down, and look, winners make winning plays. And, dude, that sucked. He just broke, man, that sucked.
Petty, we hoop up top, right?
Dude, Maryland.
We
Maryland's
got the
been doing
best
it for
basketball
years,
in the United States, right?
Used to be.
When did that change?
When the SEC decided it's time.
No. I never said the best basketball school in college, the best basketball players in high school from the DMV. Hey, listen, waste your time if you want to go run it. Historically, run it. Currently, run it.
Where's Queen from? Is he from
Baltimore, Maryland?
Woo. If you don't know about that kid, he looked like Barkley out there.
Angel Reese, Angel Reese, right?
Oh, yeah, from LSU.
Baltimore, Maryland. St. Francis Academy. So just go check, go do a little bit of research.
Does it go all the way back to your boy Lenny?
Lenny's over there in the corner watching over us right now.
I know,
You know he's over
Lenny
there.
was smiling down on that game last night.
Lenny was over there, but it's not only like Steve Francis, the franchise, the general, Gravis Vasquez. Like, we got it all. Michael Beasley, Kevin Durant, Carmelo. You want me to keep going? Just tell me when to stop.
Is Durant? Is he from that
Come
area?
on, man.
I know he played at Texas, so I didn't know where he came from originally.
Dude, Maryland. Him and Mike Beasley was on the same high school team at one point.
Melo's the dude that makes us all believe if you get one lottery pick, you can go to the title. They just didn't realize that dude.
Hey, man, whenever y'all want to argue with me, just come on. I do basketball for fun. Football, I just played and I was okay at it.
Hey, but with that said, man, Maryland did show out. This is a great segue into our first topic, Smoke, man. And we're going to get into football, guys, but madness is upon us, and me and my man Smoke love some basketball. If you were watching this weekend, well, let's go into the week. A lot of pundits weren't real happy that the SEC got 14 teams in because the SEC,
petty haters hate. They're going to hate. Just ignore them.
Two things happened. The SEC scheduled a tough out-of-conference, and they won all those games.
Yeah.
They earned their spots in, and, I think Ole Miss got caught a fraud, all kind of stuff, all the rhetoric from Tim Doyle. I guess he wasn't looking that they had beaten Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas twice, BYU, Colorado State, all teams that are in a tournament. But, frauds usually do that. But, again, I think it's just the SEC, nobody wanted to believe they were as good as they were, Smoke. But I think this weekend proved otherwise because, it was just a full-on flex show.
You know what? When you get 7 out of the 16 teams in the Sweet 16 going into next weekend, that says something about your conference. But overall, what are we saying about college basketball? The movement of the mid-majors and the Cinderella story, there's none. Ain't no Cinderella. Cinderella slippers fell off, glass broke, the clock turned whatever night, whatever it is. It's a wrap. And you and I were talking earlier, and it just sucks, but it makes sense. NIL, transfer portal. The more money you have, and the SEC is showing their dominance in terms of having that cash flow that can go out and purchase the teams. They're hiring general managers. They're staying ahead of the curve. They're getting the best Division I AA, Division II. Wherever you're at that's hooping, the SEC seems to have dipped in those cookie jars and pulled out the right cookie and getting the right ones. Just like Coach Cal a few years ago was doing the one and dones and nobody caught on. The SEC were one of the first teams that started using analytics to go out and purchase the best players. We're not going to even use the word recruit anymore. Purchase the right players, the right teams, the right formulas in terms of great scorer, good rebounder, gritty, older guys that's played that understand the game. Young guys that you don't have to teach the game to right now because you don't have time. You can't build programs anymore. You have to build the best teams. So they're showing you, the SEC showing, most of these guys aren't the 5-star recruits that are coming out of high school that you're fighting over, and there's only 3 or 4 of them that's worth a darn when they first come in that freshman year. But they're showing you the older teams, a la Auburn. Nate Oates showed you that, hey, listen, I was at Buffalo, so I understand how to recruit the mid-majors.
And build, yes.
And build. Go into small towns, small schools, and find the best players. Put them all together and have them believe in my culture, the way that we want to play basketball. And they're just showing you. And the dominance is proof of the pudding. That the way that we used to think about basketball,
done.
The days of you and I were sitting around watching 4-year players at university, it's done because 4-year guys aren't staying there for 4 years, but guys are staying there for 6 or 7 years in college, and you're just getting the best product just later on.
And to further your point, though, and you were talking about where's the Cinderella, where's all that, I think, Oates has been building it. Pearl's been building it. Barnes has been building it. But Ole Miss hasn't ever been a factor in this thing. And then you see LaSalle and St. Mary's and all these teams make runs. Like, how are these teams making runs and Ole Miss is it? Well, everybody talks about the NIL and the portal and all that and football so much. The biggest impact is what you just said. Now teams like Ole Miss, they were told by Sankey, look, You can't punt on basketball anymore. In 2016, he said the most embarrassing moment of his professional career was when the SEC got 3 teams in the big dance. He had a meeting with the ADs and said, this shit won't stand. We're going to schedule more, and you're going to put an emphasis on basketball. And then the portal gets in. Ole Miss gets a coach like Baird. Well, the LaSalle's. Well, look at Ole Miss's roster right now. You got Padula, their point guard. Virginia Tech transfer. Virginia Tech's always been one of those ACC teams that's always a 7-8 seed in the big dance.
And upset a few, and they come up in Baltimore, get a couple of our kids, and they do a pretty good job recruiting the DMV.
Juju Murray, he was a star at St. Mary's in the big dance 2 years ago. Well, Ole Miss goes and takes him. It's a great point why you're not seeing Cinderella, because those mid-SEC to lower SEC teams have said, okay, we can go get these players that are taking these LaSalle's, these St. Mary's, these Creighton's, and we can
FAU a few years ago when they made that run. What is it? Florida Gulf Coast when they made that run.
That's a great one. Great example.
All those teams, they're seeing them and they're just plucking them left and right.
And now again, that's what you're seeing, and that's why you're seeing Arkansas, LSU. I mean, all these SEC teams that you're not expecting to be there are now in the Sweet 16 because it's opened it up. So yeah, the biggest change in this whole NIL portal might have anything to do with football. It might be what you see in March Madness. The days of those little schools from Chicago or wherever, Gulf Coast, kind of making a run and everybody getting excited. They're done.
Getting slapped around.
The SEC announced this year that the sports changed and we're here to do it.
But you see it. You have 7 from the SEC. Big 12 has 4, correct?
Yep.
Big 10 has 4. ACC has that one guy sitting out there, them dookies. And it's like, yeah, that's it. That's it.
I think that's the most shocking thing, Smoke, is our lifetime, it's been the ACC. And then
ACC Big East, you're right.
This is the first time in 50 years that the ACC didn't have at least 2 teams make it to day 2 of the second day of the dance. They only had Duke's the only one. North Carolina's fallen to Ole Miss. It's just you're seeing it's –
Well, Petty, it's a combination of 2 things. It's majority of the Maryland getting moved out and getting put in the Big Ten. So when you have super conference, when you have the Big Ten taking some ACC basketball schools away, and then you only have the Blue Bloods of Carolina and Duke. Georgia Tech's always been that school that every now and then they're shove their heads up and they'll make a run. Wake Forest will make a run. NC State back in the day with Tom Gugliotta and all those guys make a run. But when you start breaking it up and basketball is not only played on the East Coast, and you have the ability to now use analytics, you can travel more. You're investing in winning right now instead of later on. Everyone's not sitting there going to the same 4 or 5 high schools in one area. Basketball players are going all around. So you have to go find them. California got a ton of good kids. All of them can't stay on the West Coast. UCLA can't harbor all of them. So they got to spread them around. And now when you've invested financially into these young guys, it's making basketball fun again. It's making March good basketball. I don't care what anybody says. That was very good basketball that I watched this past week and this weekend. Great basketball.
Absolutely. Great.
Guys playing it the right way, good shooting, good defense, players buying in, coaches allowed to coach hard. You're not seeing guys that don't know how to play because they're 16 or 18-year-old young guys. Cooper Flagg is a young guy considerably because he's only 18 and he reclassed. He should still be in high school, but he plays the game the right way. Just because we're not putting this big emphasis on who's scoring the most points, you're talking about who makes the right reads and the right plays. You're seeing basketball plays being ran. And the game is not a big man only game. It's spread. Guys are playing defense. I just wish that John Thompson, the greats, could still be around right now, benefiting from this era. And I know the old school guys are, why can't we bring it back? Listen, it's over.
Yeah.
It's been monetized. It's a done deal.
But you speak to something that basketball purists probably makes their heart smile. While can always have loved the college game, it's not always been a good product. There's actually been a lot of bad basketball, even played in March Madness. I know we like to make it a fairy tale and all this, but there's a lot of bad basketball, a lot of bad refereeing. I think you nailed it, Smoke. And I heard this not just from you. I heard other basketball purists that love the game, that have always kind of had a problem with the college game just because it is a bad product a lot of times. Not good shooters, a lot of sloppy pass, a lot of just sloppy. There was a lot of good basketball this weekend, man. Just like you said, good defense, rebounding, just passing, like the art of passing and opening up an offense. It was a lot of pretty products, and it wasn't just one or two games. It was across the board.
It was across the board, and you saw players playing hard. Like, they didn't want to go home. The Maryland and Colorado State game was so intense. My wife almost she just sat there, was like, oh my God. And I'm like, hey, listen, this is what March Madness is all about. 6 seconds left, perfectly ran play, cross-court pass, knocked it down. Beautiful jumper.
Oh, Maryland, Colorado State, a game you don't give two shits about a month ago, but it's happening right now in March. It's back and forth, and here I am in Florida just going nuts. And look, my pick.
Hey, Petty, you got to tell the people that you skipped out on your family at Disney, too, to go watch basketball. That was nasty work. Nasty work.
Okay. So
nasty work.
We went to Disney this weekend. The Tide and Ole Miss were playing back-to-back. What's a brother going to do, man? I got to sneak off to the room. They went and rode probably one ride in the 3 hours I was gone.
You're right. You are right.
They missed me for one ride. They rode the teacups. I came back. Bama won. My Rebels won. It was just a glorious. I'll tell you what, it was cathartic for a Bama Ole Miss guy that grew up going to Coleman, but I also have my blood bleeds Ole Miss. Watching Bama and Ole Miss go back to back into the Sweet 16 was one of the funner sports days I've had in a long time. Speaking of Bama, we got one of our guys out here that's got a question for you, Smoke. I heard a rumor that Nelson is more important to the team than Sears. This is our boy Herb Raj. You heard?
Hey, you know what? So I went rogue on those guys Saturday. And listen, if y'all don't tune into the Urban Raj podcast on Saturdays. I promise you'll be delighted and you enjoy your time. It's a bunch of fun because they just go down a rabbit hole sometimes. I think the bourbon starts kicking in, but it's great conversation.
I love that I like guys that'll drink and talk sports because then you start getting real. But I don't think
and they know what they're talking about. But it's entertaining.
No, and they're good. Guys, go watch these guys. Go follow Herb and Raj. Like, look, man, there's a lot of people that do fan podcasts out there. There's a lot of shit out there. A lot of just garbage because anybody can get in front of a mic and camera and talk. Herb and Raj are the real deal. Smoke wouldn't go on their show if there wasn't. I just wanted to echo what he said.
Those are my guys, man. Yeah, they put it down. They do a good. They bring out a good product. But yes,
to this question.
Yes, to this question.
We saw it.
And I think in the world, people listen to what they want to hear, but they don't listen to understand. And when I made that comment, Urban Raj, they understood exactly what I was saying. But I got a little bit of flack on social because they're saying, well, Sears is the best player. I agree.
Best player.
Best player. That does not mean the importance of winning to a team. That's where Grant Nelson comes in. One of Alabama's biggest kryptonite is offensive rebounding. When he rebounds at a high clip and he scores 15 plus points, double, and plays defense because he's engaged now. When he scores, he's active. His activity increases rebounds and 50-50 balls. And now you get him a big man playing defense, running the floor. Same way you saw Alabama beat Auburn because he showed up. If Grant Nelson shows up like he did again, like he came in the last few minutes and turned that game around when it could have gone a little bit shaky.
It was getting a little too close for comfort.
But once he checked in, you saw energy. You saw big man play, effort, rebounding. He understands how to run pick and roll. He just has a better feel. And when you have a big man on the court that can spread it, but also play tough enough against sized players, that's where now you can see Bama open up and they can get into the 90s, which a lot of teams don't want to get to. So if he plays at an above average level, Bama cuts the nets down easily.
Woo.
Only caveat is just don't run into Florida.
Well,
that might be the kryptonite.
Good thing about that is you don't catch Florida into the national title. So you're going to have to get through likely BYU. Might as well set the over-under at 180 because those boys can score. But BYU's, I think we're going to get them. I mean, if your goal's your goals, you got to beat BYU.
Nelson got to – I'm telling you, Nelson shows up. Bama, that's the number one ranked team when Nelson plays. When he goes into hiding in the witness protection program and you got to go find him, and now Sears is trying to do a little bit too much. We're going to tease and touch on our guy Philon later on.
Mm-hmm.
They become a tough matchup for anybody because they can get up and down the court, spread you out, and they can play good enough defense with one of the better coaches when it comes down to the last 2 minutes of drawing up plays, and you have guys that can execute it. Sears still ain't shooting good, but I think you'll find a stroke.
But and I think to your point, though, Smoke, and Philon's a great example. And talking about Sears and talking about young blood, you can have all the guard play in the world. And I think Alabama's got the deepest guard play in all of college basketball. And it's not really close.
Florida's pretty close to.
But if you don't have that big man, there's a hole that just that you can't overcome in certain games. That was you run into UConn and Purdue last year. You couldn't beat them because they had two giants that could move really, really well.
But the reason why they got to the Final Four is because Grant
was the glue. Absolutely.
There you go.
No, and I think he's the difference, and I think this team can win it all. You got to get through Duke, but I'm sorry, man. Cooper Flagg is great, but there's something about Duke. Like if he's not on, if their threes, they were a little shaky out of the gate, and I know they ran away in their last game, but they're Flagg, and I think Bama can overcome that. So Duke's your path. Then you get Houston.
You got a couple of guys that can make Cooper's life a little bit more difficult. Yep. There's not a player in college that can stop him.
No.
But our defensive stopper, Diabate. I think Diabate can get under his skin. I think there's times that you can put Grant Nelson on him to just give him a little bit of elbow and toughen him up. Young blood can get under him and play closeout defense on him. So you can throw enough bodies at him to make him use more energy and make those other guys score. But the game will be in the 90s when they do play, if they get there. Speaking of Duke, because I think the Tide's going to do it.
What are these 7 SEC teams you think got the best shot to end up in the Final Four, Smoke?
Give me the brackets, because I don't have my bracket in front of me.
All right, we got Bama and BYU against Duke and Arizona. That's the 4 over on one side.
I think Bama gets the Final Four.
All right. Then on the other, you've got Maryland and Florida playing, and then Arkansas and Texas Tech.
I got Florida coming out of there in the Final Four.
All right. And then your southern bracket, you got Ole Miss playing Michigan State and Michigan playing Auburn.
I think we get 3 out of 4 teams in the Final Four.
There you go. So, well, then in the other, you've got Tennessee facing Kentucky and Purdue and Houston. We could get 4, dude.
You can, but that daggone Houston team tough.
Houston's nasty, but man,
to me, it's all about matchup. Like if Houston matches up against Tennessee, it's very even.
Yes,
right, and they play the same brand of basketball, tough, grinded out. So it's going to come down to who can actually hit shots that day.
Nailed it.
And we saw last year Houston went cold. Like they're going to play defense. Calvin Sampson's going to have those guys playing hard, and they're going to play defense. But can they get into the 80s?
It's like Tennessee can. Virginia teams a few years back.
There you go. They're tough as hell. It's just if Houston hits shots, that's your tail. Good luck.
And I love the Tennessee comparison. I feel like they're the same team, play the same style of ball. But if you want to, you want to use the schedule comparison, they played 2 SEC teams. Houston has. They played Bama and Auburn and lost to both of them. Man,
I mean, Petty, both of those teams was ranked 1 at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Tennessee's been number 1 at some point, man.
That's what I'm saying. But Bama and Auburn, they can light you up.
You could have a Bama, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida Final Four.
Ooh, Florida cutting that down.
That's who I've got cutting them. I've got Florida, and I'm in a Siskiy's bracket. 850 people in this thing. I'm in second right now. Well, there's 8 or 10 people tied for first. So there's 10 first, and then I'm 11th, which is actually second place.
So hold on. You doing that Mississippi math on me again.
No,
Come on
well,
with it. It's either 11 or 10.
How does that work?
One has a 0 and one has a 1.
Well, there's like 10 ones, and then the next ranking is 11. So it goes from first to 11th.
So what place are you in, good guy?
Well, in Mississippi math, second. In real math, 11th. But
so I got to subtract 11 from 2, and you're really in 9th?
But see, the pick is one pick from being in first place. If I had one difference pick, and I'm first to 11th from first. So it's only one game difference from first to 11th. Man, don't bracket. Brackets are weird. But
you know what? Petty, let's get in a couple of these questions, man.
The
daggone chat's going crazy right now.
I do have Bama play in Florida for the. Someone said Herb, I'd skip my family to go watch cornhole.
Nasty work. I'm telling y'all, man.
Brian has been on it. You've been in Nelson. You have been in the Nelson camp all year. You've been on our show on Going Hard in the Paint. I got to give Brian some love.
I agree. He knows ball.
We need rights on Reed against Florida, or we just need to hit the outside shots versus Florida, man.
Hold on.
Well, and you got to get Clayton. Clayton was cold the other night, and then he just lost his damn mind against UConn. If you can kind of slow down Clayton, that's the key. Like you said, their guards are sick, and Clayton is the key to it right now.
Clayton's another guy that fits into formula. That's from the dirt. Now he's all the way on top.
Dude.
Name a college that he hasn't played at. You'd be shocked.
What would the nation do, though, if we get a SEC Final Four? I think it would just melt national media's brain.
I think it'd be right. I mean, if you've been watching college basketball all year, it's a very good possibility, a strong possibility it does happen.
No.
Like, it's not going to be like, oh, my God. No, it's like, yep.
No. I love it. Love it. With that said, my man Smoke, or Smoke-tradamus, as we like to call him. Well, let's do that. Before we get to Smoke-tradamus prediction, let's give a little love. I saw Whitwill come after. We've given them some love once, but we can never give enough love to the folks at Whitwill Sports and Title Towel. Do this.
Petty, there you go. You almost did it again.
I did it on purpose.
You know what we need to do? We need to get our guy. I need to send a bottle of whatever bourbon my man Raj and Herb drinks. And every time we put up the title towel, they need to take a shot.
There you go.
I think we got to put that together.
Send them some Mad Dog.
That
was my go-to.
Knock it off. Knock it off.
That
bad news.
Shit was so bad.
Nasty work.
It was some nasty work back in the day. I don't know. What do y'all drink? Herb and Raj, we'll have to send a bottle that way because they are some.
Those are my dudes, man.
Smoke-tradamus, you've been making some predictions. You like to rustle it up from time to time, and you told me you looked into your crystal ball and saw a youth movement coming in Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
Maybe in the forms of some of these freshmen like Dijon Lee's 6'5" self, Lotzeir Brooks jumping out of the sky, Ivan Taylor with all that NFL knowledge in his head. We don't Keelan Russell coming in with enough swag. But, man, the Michael Carrolls, you got that 5-star tackle. Derek Meadows, who these guys have got to step. Do you see these? I mean, turning it over. Tell me what that crystal ball says, Smoke.
So, you know what? History typically repeats itself. And I don't know if most of our fans remember when Saban got in there, that class that really got Bama over the hump was the Marcel Darius. Julio Jones, that 2009 class is what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
The class that got Bama rolling in the late 90s, early 2000, the 99 class.
Kendall Moorhead.
No,
is that not Moorhead? I've already screwed up.
Timeout. You got that's 98. The 99 class. Michael Gaines, Dante Ellington, Dennis Alexander, Antonio Carter, the late great Santonio Beard, Brandon Myree, Herschel Bolden, Kenny King, Max Lomax, Jarrett Johnson, David Payne, Derek Wood, Dre Fulgham. I'm going to give you my entire class, and I'm going to leave me at the end. Charles Jones. Your one and only Smoke V. Dixon. in the building. And that team in 98 was 8-5, but they needed a little
what did
jolt.
Dabo say when you joined that class? Didn't he go to Maryland to get the cow and come back with the calf? Is that the deal?
So
Sorry,
Coach
brother.
Sweeney came up to, you know what? I'm glad you see that plaque over there. That's an MVP of that team that Dabo came up to get. So we're not. Darnell Dockett was the better player. I just had the better season. I was the most important player on that team, like Grant Nelson. So Coach Sweeney came up to recruit the number one player at that time, Darnell Dockett.
Mm-hmm.
And, there was a little bit of rumblings about a quarterback that was committed to the University of Maryland. This one hurts Michael Locksley's heart. And I was picking up steam. I was doing the camp tour, and I was busting cats' faces at camps. Like physically, like even knuckling up with guys. Listen, ask anyone that was at any Michigan camp with me, Maryland camp with me, East Carolina camp. There's a strong possibility that every camp that I went to that summer, there was a brawl and a fight, and I'm going to tell you who started it. Me.
So you were the Badger before the Badger.
Go check the film out as well too. A guy might have been in that nickel situation that made a nickel position one that everybody want to go get. Someone like a 5'10", savvy, coverage skill, can blitz, can play the run, understand the defense, can be able to bump into a linebacker role, tell the safeties in the secondary what to do. The glue of the defense might have been me, but hey, listen, I'm just going to say we just need to draw history. But getting back to the youth movement, last year's group was, and Bama fans are going to hate me for this, that was one of the worst in terms of talent that's been there since Coach Saban was there. And I know that wasn't Coach Saban's team, but he left in the 11th hour with the door wide open, cupboards somewhat empty for somebody to come in there and make chicken salad out of chicken. And everybody knows that. And what this team needs and what they got a bunch of young, hungry players that want to get on the field. Because coming in there, you're hearing, guys aren't buying in. There was a 9-win team on defense. They're still trying to figure out who's going to play in the secondary up front. Can Wilkins Forsby be the guy at right tackle? We don't really have a number 3 receiver. Can we find one of these young guys to play? We don't have a quarterback yet. There's a quarterback controversy that's brewing up, and it's a freshman. So every one of those positions, and we'll start at the quarterback position, is a freshman with youthful energy and dynamic playmaking ability, both with his arm and his leg. And then when you say, what about the receiver position? Everything that I'm seeing and hearing coming out of Tuscaloosa, these two dynamic players, I know that Rico Scott is not a freshman, but he's a young guy. Yeah. Lotzeir Brooks is a dynamic playmaker. Undersized, 5'11", 5'10", but a good Z and a slot receiver that has explosive movement skills and top-end speed and plays bigger than the 5'10", 5'11" frame that he plays in, because he's, again, up north New Jersey guy. I know that you Southern guys don't want to hear about us playing football up there, but we hoop, and we play football up top.
But you make a great point on him. I would have thought he was 6'2" based off the way he plays, and then you find out he's the 6-foot kid. But he plays bigger than his size.
He plays bigger than his size. And then you have Derek Meadows that's been coming on, but they need 5 wide receivers in this fold in order for that offense to truly work. You can't go out there and play with 3 receivers anymore. Ryan Williams, at some point, he's going to have to come off the field, catch his breath to go back on. Now, when you flip on the offensive line side, I think Michael Carroll, just studying his tape, is going to have to play at least 15 to 20 plays this year at right tackle. And I'm not saying that Wilkins Forsby's not the guy. He's going to be a good player. Maybe when Caden Proctor leaves, Forsby goes to left tackle, you bump the young guy Michael Carroll at right tackle, or vice versa. But the hardest thing to do is have a highly rated player and sit him down all year and not play him. The days of redshirting is done.
And that not that, look, the transition from the high school to the college game is always a jump, but for those blue chip offensive tackles that already have that body, it seems to be those kids can, if you can pick up the footwork, the packages, he's got all of that. I feel like he's one that can contribute early, Smoke.
Listen, Petty, he's nasty. He wants to bust your nose, open it up, kick you in your face, choke you out, old school football when you watch him on film. Like, he wants to finish you. If there's water cooler over there, he want to take you over there too and dump you in the cooler. But you know what, Petty? We got a quite toughest nails.
Yeah, toughest nails got a good question coming about.
Yeah, I'll answer that real quick before I keep going.
If Kirby would have kept Monken, I heard Baltimore gave him $1 million more. Would Georgia have three-peated? So was Monken? They brought Bobo back, right? And everybody loved the old Bobo bring back.
So Monken left in what year?
Was last year.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that 2 years ago, who won the national championship 2 years ago?
Michigan.
No. I don't think Georgia would have beaten that Michigan team. That Michigan team was destined to play and win that year. They had everything against them.
I don't know, man. I think that Georgia team, I know Bama got them, which knocked them out of it, but man, I'm not sold that Georgia team might not have been. I don't know. That's
Petty. Do you know how many Michigan players got drafted off that team?
Am I underselling that Michigan team? Is that
absolutely?
Am I?
You tripping, bro?
No,
that Michigan team was damn good. They're having guys getting drafted off of this team that was babies, like Will Johnson, Graham and Grant. Though they were backups. The top two interior linemen were backups on that team. Yeah, knock it off. Michigan would have won. Monken did the best thing. Go to the league, go coach Lamar. Get away from Carson Beck and that train wreck that's out of control right now. One of the best moves that he made in his career was leaving the NASCAR track in Athens.
Man, we talked about this week, Smoke. That kind of let's not decide.
You want to hold on to youth movement and get to this?
Let's get to something. Yeah, let's get to this for a second. There used to be a thing in the 90s called the Fulmer Cup, and it was given to the team that had the most people get in trouble because, Phil Fulmer liked to do that. I think it should be renamed the Kirby Cup because unless you're paying attention, it's literally every week a player is getting arrested in Georgia for some kind of speeding, reckless driving,
death,
beating his girlfriend.
Fatal death, car accident, death. Yeah, that happened too.
Am I crazy? It's almost like the media reports it and then just moves on and then reports the next one, but nobody's stopping to say, hey, guys, y'all realize we've reported 40 of these things in the last 2 months.
You know what we've got in society? Society's got caught up in? It's not really a sexy conversation. It's not something it's not a quarterback. It's not a big name that they can run with. If it was, say, Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams, they just don't have a megastar that's doing this. And it just seems like everyone's okay with it. But we also have to remember that when you're on a college campus, you're also in a college town. And you have citizens of Athens, Georgia, that are driving around and they're just civilians. And if you have a bunch of guys that are driving these cars that should be in a NASCAR track and are reckless under the influence, for some, not all, that's scary. Because you're just not driving just on campus. There's a family out there in Athens that has nothing to do with just wanting to get back from their work back home, but you feel like you have to be able to drive 140 miles per hour. And I know everyone's going to say, well, it's a Kirby thing. Yes, it's a Kirby thing, but it also starts at home. And we have to remember, like, Petty, you remember when we were 18, 19? We're just 3 years into our driving history. Like, we knew what to do, but we weren't put in every single situation. So we were young drivers. So you're giving young drivers cars that should be handled by NASCAR drivers. So you can say, let's not allow them to purchase these cars, but you can't tell young people what to do with their money. It's theirs. I mean, I know Kirby's tried taking away some NIL from them, taking car keys. He's tried everything, had intervention with law enforcement come in and sit down to him. I just don't think that these kids believe that the worst could happen to them. And I don't like to put anything negative in the world.
No.
But the worst can happen to them. But when you're that young and like,
superhuman.
Yeah. You run into a brick wall. That brick wall is not going to move. It's on you. So unless they make a conservative effort of wanting to do better and not want to put people in danger, yeah, this thing's going to keep on going because you can't keep their cars away from them.
And I think that's the question, Smoke, man. Look, kids the kids are kids. Like you said, now they got more access to money. They can buy these cars. But Georgia's not the only one that's got kids that are getting access to money. Why is it so much? Why does it seem like it's happening so much more there? How does it seem to be? It's just weird that it seems like
Petty, you ever been in Athens, Georgia?
Oh yeah, it's
just like most college towns, Tuscaloosa, Oxford.
No, it's nothing going on. Crack. It's one of the best college towns.
Yeah, it's garbage. Listen, when we were in school, I had a teammate, Air Reese Monroe. Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen Air Reese Monroe in a class, but if you're on Alabama's campus between,
so I'm in his Impala.
Ding, ding, ding. You didn't have to see him. You heard Reese coming around the corner. Dang, bang, bang. And Reese wanted to drive fast, but also we weren't trying to do it on the strip.
No.
We did it when it was,
I will never forget him pulling into an apartment complex that I was standing in one night. I saw that Impala pull in and his head pulled out and said, "Hey man, go look around that corner, see if I'm being followed." And I was like, "Yes, sir." I went and looked, come back, said, "You good, bud?" And he's like, "Word," and peeled the hell out of the back.
Yeah, but I mean, when we were on campus, we had a few of our guys, Marvin Constance included. There were guys that I believe their eardrums didn't work, and they had like noise cancellation headsets on at all times because that's how loud their cars were. And we were getting in trouble for having loud music on campus, and a few of us got pulled over with it, and we had an intervention. But we figured it out like, damn, I don't want to keep on giving my money away. So let's just kind of just calm it down and let's play the music when we leave campus. So I get it. And it sucks.
But I guess that's my thing. We've all been there, man. Kids, y'all were kids then. You had Aries, man. Y'all, the football dudes haven't changed. We're all the same. It's just so why is it happening so much more? It's just crazy how much it's happening there.
Well, we also had some good police officers that looked out for us as well too. And if anything happened, they would have taken it to Coach Dubose or my man CB, and it would have never made the news. But now you have a few people that might just want to get their name in the news for being the person that pulled this person over.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of a lot of things. It's taking care of your community with the players are understanding that I'm putting people in harm and danger. Kirby also keep on just emphasizing the importance of making smart decisions. And police officers continue doing what you're doing and pulling these guys over and taking their daggone cars. Now, at some point, somebody's going to have to get their license taken from them. Maybe that's where it goes. Because we've seen minimal of just saying, driving, speeding. And we've seen death on that campus.
Yep.
Because of reckless driving.
And that's where you're like, come on now. That is funny.
But you're putting others in danger that have nothing to do with you.
That's right.
If me and you want to go out and drag race, okay, understand that the streets is not for us. Yeah. It ain't for us. Yeah. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm putting somebody in danger that has nothing to do with what's going on. That's somebody's cousin, brother, uncle, father. Like, we just got to be able to think a little bit more other than ourselves and stop being so damn selfish and just I know how fast my car can go. Yeah, we know. It says 180.
But you nailed it out of the gate, though, Smoke. It goes back to the home. You got to teach.
Yeah, it starts at home. 1,000% it starts at home. It don't start with Kirby. Kirby did not get them at at 18, they just fresh out the womb.
No.
Parents
Your
have them,
parents
uncles
teach
have
you-
them, guardians have them. We got to make better decisions at home so our kids don't go to college and act stupid.
It's not on Kirby to teach these kids the importance of life. It's on your parents. And like you said, it's not a Kirby thing.
It is on Kirby to help with that.
Check.
To help with that, but I don't know if it starts and ends with Kirby.
No, it doesn't start and end with Kirby.
Like, come on.
And like you said, it's not Kirby. It's funny. A Steve Spurrier quote came out. This was pre-Kirby. Hey, I always like to play Georgia in the first month because I know they'll have several people suspended. So maybe it's just a Georgia thing. I don't know.
It might be just an Athens thing.
It might just be because, dude, Athens is one of the low-key better college party towns in the SEC. I've been there and done that. But to reel us back in off Georgia to the topic of Smoke-tradamus at hand, Smoke, it almost sounds like every coach, when a new coach comes in, you're going to have that ugly class. But you need that attitude-changing class where the whole class changes the entire attitude of the program.
This is it. You can see from the California movement and attitudinally, like these players, and I know that you know my guy, Dijon Lee.
That's
Ivan Taylor, those guys in the secondary, they look like pros. Physically, their mentality, and their ability. Like they're not taking no crap off of Ryan Williams, Bernard, none of them dudes. They walking in there asking you, what you want, we're going to give it to you. And when you just see them practice and you hear the rumblings coming out of the building, these guys are locked in. And when I mean locked in, they're there for a purpose. They're there to go to class and play ball. The chain wearing and the social media representation and NIL is always going to play a place. Let's never, ever not forget that. The better you play, the more you get paid. So that's a part of it. But they're not with the bull crap of the normal social things that most college kids would want to get involved with. They're there for a purpose of furthering their education, furthering their bank account, but their ending goal, first round NFL. And that's how they're practicing. That's how they're preparing. And that's their mentality. This 2025 class, and this is really truly their first class.
Yes.
Their mentality is the old school mentality that we had at Bama of put Bama on nationally, win a national championship, and in 3 years, let's get up out the door and let's usher the next group in.
So
that's the feel that I'm getting from this group.
That's strong, man.
And when you have that from, and Marvin and I on Constantly Smoking touched on this. If you haven't watched that, please go check that out.
Check out Constantly
Crazy
Smoking.
work. You have three like separate groups, silos. You have the Nick Saban crew that's still kind of lingering, haggling, just dangling over themselves. That some in, some out, but they got to figure themselves out. Because they don't get all in, they're going to get all out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you have the Washington crew that came over. Parker Braceford. Ford. Is it Braceford or Braceford? Brailsford. That came over. The Jeremy Bernards that came over. The Austin Macks that came over. I usually don't talk about centers. I usually call them trash can with wheels on them or agile bad legs.
Never gotten a Christmas card.
There's a time that I purposely screw these guys' name up just because, they're not that important. But just for this conversation, you have that Washington crew that understands exactly what Coach DeBoer wants. That now need to sell that over to that crew over there that's hanging, which is the Saban crew, and pull them in. But now you have the fresh, new energy that knows nothing about Saban unless it's just history. They've never been up to Washington, so it's a mystery. But now the future is that gift that you got to open up. And this is what this 25 class needs to bring. And that's what you're seeing in practice in spring ball from the competition and just the level of play that they want to get back to. Playoffs, win, championship ring.
Well, Smoke,
so that's my prediction.
You aren't scared. Look, man, and this is why I love doing the show with you. I know fans get upset sometimes because they don't always like hearing the truth, but more times than not, at the end of the day, you'd rather hear that than have, no pun intended, smoke blowing up your ass. You're not wanting to do that. But man, this should be, for you that is not, I guess I'm trying to say, man, you're not scared to tell it like it is. So you'll tell the bad with the good. But if you're paying attention right there, that should kind of warm your heart, Bama fans, because that's what I'm saying. Smoke Talk went all the way back at the beginning of this to his class, and that was an attitude changing class. And I think that's more what guys, this could be the class that brings back, and I think what you said, it's not Washington, it's not Saban, it's Alabama.
It's Alabama.
And that's what it comes back to. And if this class can be Alabama, they get that mentality, and that's where you turn and start seeing the program go in the direction of what everybody talks about standards or whatever, what you want.
Who knows what the standard is? Like, everyone talks about this damn standard thing.
Nothing.
I don't know what it is.
You know what it is? It's A. You represent the A, and that's all it's all. But
standards change yearly, situationally. So it can't be this one standard. What is this one standard? Nick had his. Kalen DeBoer has his.
That's right.
We'll figure out which one Kalen DeBoer's is.
That's right. That's right.
Time will tell.
It. Well, man, we are getting to draft season. I know everybody's all about pro days and been keeping up with, what went on in the combine in Indianapolis, keeping up, is Milroe up in his staff? Where has Campbell jumped? Has he done enough to jump in that top 10? Looks like Campbell's probably going to be the highest drafted guy from Alabama, but that brings me to my question, Smoke. We got a lot of good athletes all over the capstone. Who is the top prospect? Is it Jihaad Campbell from the football staff? Is he going to go in that top 10? Is it Labaron Philon, who's looking like he could work his way into the lottery pick? Or is it a guy somewhere else on this campus? Maybe the baseball field. And one, Justin, talk about famous names, Lebron. Smoke, I was telling you about this kid a week ago.
You know what, Petty? I was gonna go since you were, but the way that you're perked up right now.
I am.
Give me your take and make your case for who's the best pro prospect on the capstone as of today.
In a world of where you breathe football air at Alabama, you're always thinking of those are the biggest studs. Those are the biggest giants, the Adonises of campus. Basketball, man, Nate Oates has turned it around. We've got the Colin Sextons of the world. We're putting guys in the pros, Philon's the next great. And
we're
trying to forget, Smoke.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Like, I think you have, not you, but I think the world of Bama basketball fans just think about like Nate Oates and it's like, oh yeah, but you got to remember Gerald Wallace walked the campus.
Dude, I got to remember. I'll go back to
McDyess walked the campus. Latrell Sprewell walked the campus. Mo Williams was on campus. Rod Brazard was on that campus. Richard Hendricks was on that. So it's not like it just started. One of the best young coaches, and I can't even say young because we're about the same age. Antoine Red Shoe, still in my shoe, Petway was on that campus.
Got my nickname because of him.
So wow, okay.
Well, my name was Petty, so it was real easy to turn that into Petway. When we were on school at the same time, my buddy started calling me Petway.
I think he used that to get somewhere with someone. I don't think it was like with guys, but keep going.
Nah, I wasn't doing that to pick up girls. But no, look, it was an easy transition. My name was Petty. Petway was a stud on campus, and it was like, hey, Petway. And I'm like, nah, I don't do what he does.
But I can do what I can do what you want me to do. I get you. Hey, listen.
but to your point, Alabama basketball
I'm gonna bring you back. Come on back.
It did not begin in the Nate Oates era.
Right.
But you may not notice outside Coleman Coliseum, there's another field that we call it's a diamond. We call it America's pastime. It's the baseball field. And there's a guy playing shortstop on that field named Justin Lebron that I saw him last year, and I started kind of whispering to people, man, Bama's got a kid. And look, man, there's a lot of great baseball players, but then there's only so many special players that when you see them that first time, you're like, that kid's going to be a major league player. The first time I saw him take a ground ball at shortstop at Alabama, I said, holy shit, he moves smoothly like a Derek Jeter. And then I watched him bat, and you watch his hit rotation and his follow through. Right now, Justin Lebron, Bama fans, I implore you, man. I know we love football. I know we're getting into basketball. I know softball is big, but this baseball team is different right now. It's special, and it's led by one of the best funnest prospects in all of the game, and he's at shortstop. He's a leader. He's got, man, and look, if you love that too, he's got the cross on the eye. He does all that stuff, but he's just a fun player. He's hitting 341 right now. He's got 12 home runs, 50 RBIs, and they've only played 25 games. They took one from Tennessee this weekend. Get out to the Joe. But, man, as of right now, he is projected as a number 1 overall draft prospect. Bama fans, get out. You have the number 1 draft prospect in all of baseball sitting in your park. Go fill it up and watch this kid play. Top prospect on the Capstone, and there's a lot of great ones. Look, man, there's a lot of football players that are going to have their name called that are absolute. And we're not talking athletes, but the best prospect on this campus is Justin Lebron.
Good case.
Big Bama, proud of ladies basketball. Coming into this show tonight, I did want to give them a shout out. Sarah Ashley Barker had 45 points tonight in a losing effort, double overtime. Got it hurt, blew a 17-point lead.
Who they lose to?
Man, look at Smoke, just antagonizing with that shirt. Maryland.
I've been locked in. I haven't been on my phone. I'm in a room. I don't know nothing.
It was Maryland, Smoke.
Oh, we do hoop up top. I keep telling you.
Well, I'll say this, man. Maryland,
shout out to Coach B up top at Maryland, man.
I'll be
in
honest.
Hyattsville, or they call it College Park, Maryland. Brenda's one of the better basketball coaches in America.
I'll be honest. A true circle of trust tree here. I've not always been the biggest girl basketball fan. It's not the most exciting sport at times, but I'll be honest. I'll jump in.
Neither is baseball.
Neither is baseball. So touche. But when it comes tournament time, I'll watch anything with a Crimson A or a red and blue on it. And so, when that game came across, I turned it on. That was a fantastic product today. I don't give a shit. You can say women, blah, blah, blah. I mean, girls were hitting shot after shot in clutch situations. And look, the Barker girl, Bama, in this first overtime, she got fouled.
Is that Barker girl that you keep on screaming about? Is that Jay's daughter?
That might be one.
Yeah.
Jay Barker's daughter, Alabama legend Jay Barker's daughter, Sarah Ashley Barker is the star of the Bama basketball team. She was at the line and we're down 3 with no time on the clock in the first overtime. Had to.
And you text me this, Petty. So you were watching. So don't act like you were. You text me, Smoke.
Dude,
she's there.
I was locked.
You were locked in. You might have had some money on this too, but yeah.
And I'll say this: when
Whoa, hey, hold on, time out, Petty. Ho. Chris Camp. Okay, let's get this real good right now. Don't ever put Smoke and Baltimore together. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland, closer to DC. I don't talk like them. I don't dress like them. Nothing with me in Baltimore.
Smoke is from Jamaica, man.
That too, but Baltimore, like when you from my area and you say Baltimore, it's almost like saying, I don't even know. We're so close, but we're so far apart. We don't talk like them. Our music don't sound like them. We got our own music, man. Go research go music in the DC area. I don't know what they got out there.
That's like being from Bankhead and saying you're from Atlanta. Do
they not like each other? Are they like completely separate worlds?
I think Bankhead claims its own, like it's its own. That's us.
Smoke lacrosse is the biggest sport in Maryland. Is
lacrosse the biggest sport in Maryland?
Listen, we do it. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I mean, basketball is the Sweet 16. Mike Loxley last year was a down year, but he did come down to Nashville with Smoke. Might be a general manager to help put that team together that busted up Cal College. He has won 8 games in the last. I mean, he's done some good things up there. So I'm gonna say football is right up there. And if you go check the draft history, Maryland's product's been pretty good.
Well, you just informed people that you're not from Maryland. You actually came from Jamaica. Why don't you inform them what you came from Jamaica playing? Was it baseball or football?
Cricket. I played cricket. I didn't know how to play basketball until I learned and watch a guy or two stick their tongue out and learn how to shoot from that guy. Quickly, we changed my jump shot because I didn't want to shoot that flat, ugly jump shot like Michael Jordan. Learned how to throw football watching Doug Williams, Mark Rippon.
Williams, Mark Ripken. Why, you were a Washington guy.
Yeah. No, hit the 22nd timeout. Dallas Cowboys.
You like those two?
Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm petty. Listen, I'm a bandwagon guy.
I am too.
Okay. I'm not going to cheer for a loser. I don't have that much in me to sit there and be like, if my team don't win, no. If my team sucks, I'm gonna find a new team. Okay. I'm a free agent fan. Yeah. I was doing NIL free agency fandom before all this started. So who pays me the most? I'm gonna go over there and cheer for him. Baseball, you typically find that me cheering for the team that wins in October. Basketball, if Maryland's rolling, I'm gonna say Maryland, but I didn't like what came out of Coach Willard's mouth this weekend with our guy Damon Evans. Shout out to Damon for taking a job at SMU, but that's a whole nother time, another chapter. We'll get to that.
Good stuff. Well, back to matters at hand. We now know Smoke is a Jamaican cricket player. That's amazing. I love that. That is
can't play soccer though. Isn't that crazy?
If there's a better fun fact out there, that should have been on the Jumbotron. Smoke, Dixon, 4-3, cornerback, Badger, me some bitch. I came from Jamaica playing cricket.
Cricket. I know how to play cricket. Suck in soccer. Can't kick. Cannot kick. I can teach you how, but I can't kick.
Missed the ball.
But eye hand, oh yeah. Tennis, lacrosse. I did play lacrosse as well too. Baseball. Can hit.
You're into baseball.
Yeah. I can hit. It's easy. Eye hand ball hit.
Great
basketball.
Point.
Football probably was my worst sport growing up. Worst.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't care about football. I didn't play football in the 9th grade.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go out there. Yeah,
see what this is about.
Huh?
See what this is about, and then you decide.
Yeah, you know what, Pitt? I got a funny story for you. You ready to go down memory lane with me for a second?
I would love it.
All right, so 9th grade tryouts, first day of practice. I'm sitting there, I'm up, and my sister Karen D. She's like, "All right, are you gonna go to practice?" I'm like, "Man, not really." I was like, "I just want to play basketball." I'm thinking I was gonna grow because on my AAU team, go back and check out when Carmelo won it at Syracuse. The point guard that came in that made Jerry McNamara go to the 2 is a guy named Billy Eadlin.
Oh yeah,
Billy and I were in the backcourt together with the Silver Spring Blue Devils. I thought I was going to be a basketball player in the NBA. Forget everything else. Yeah, I can golf too, Brian. Yeah, I can golf too. Listen, stick, ball, hit, I can do all that. All it is eye hand. I can't control it like I want to, and I probably suck like everybody else, but I can play.
You told me the cricket, I assumed you could do the golf.
Yeah, come on, dude. So
I'm a golfer.
I'm not good.
I'll be at TPC Tampa next week sometime.
Look at you. Throw it out there. So I get up and I was like, dang, I gotta go now. So I jump on my 10-speed bicycle and I'm riding now fast because I'm like, damn, I'm late. So I get there just in time to where my guy Abdul, I think Abdul's last name, it's not Abdul Kamara, it might be Abdul Kamara. Abdul Muhammad. What's Doobie's last name? Either way, Abdul. And I don't know how to put on like shoulder pads, nothing. I've never played organized sports before, like organized football. So I'm like, Doobie, bro, what do I do with all this stuff? Because they left my pads and stuff in there because they heard I was going to come try out. So
you didn't know how to put the pads on.
I didn't know how to put shoulder pads on, bro.
In 9th grade, you're trying to.
In 9th grade, never put on shoulder pads before. Never. Hip pads, knee pads, nothing. I didn't have cleats. Okay. So Doobie gets me dressed. Physics that, hey, just got to put this on and give me a pair of the compression tights. Old school guys know about it. That you can just put your thigh pads, hip pads in, and then you just put your knee pads in your pants. But we thought it was cool, so we rolled our knee pads all the way up anyway. And I went out there and in tennis shoes. Okay. Spin this forward. I get a pair of cleats from my cousin, Kurt Dixon. Shout out to Kurt. He was at Delaware playing. Heard that I was playing. Gave you some cleats. Some 3/4 mids, 7 studs. Get to our first game. Return the first punt back to the 1-yard line. Fumble it. That was my last game on JV. Only played 3 games on JV. Shout out to varsity. See the guy behind me right there? That was my senior pitcher. one-time MVP, three-time All-County player, one-time All-Met, somewhere in the conversation of honorable mention All-American, end up going to the University of Alabama, committed to Maryland. Fun fact. How about this?
Hold on,
How
Smoke.
about
Go ahead.
I flip my visit to the University of Florida with Steve Spurrier to take an official visit at Howard University. Head coach Steve Wilson, quarterback coach Pep Hamilton. Just because Pep was doing such a bang-up job of recruiting me.
You and Pep go way back, don't you?
Oh, you go back all the way back to I was 17 years old.
Man, so let me ask you this, though.
No, I got another one. So I take my SATs that same Saturday. Guess who drives me to, where did I go? Good Counsel High School.
Yeah.
Roger Mason Jr.'s dad drove me in the 15-passenger van, picked me up, and that's what took me to take my SATs that morning. Roger Mason, the hooper that played at Virginia.
Okay. First of all, I want to put the myth of all men are created equal horseshit to rest. I started playing football like when I was in the 5th grade. I knew how to put on pads. I loved the game way more than this asshole ever loved it. Gave my heart to it. He didn't know how to put on pads in 9th grade. And within a week was a better football player than I ever dreamed of being. And had done it my whole damn life. We're not all created equal. That's horseshit. But with that said, Smoke, you didn't even know how to put on your damn shoulder pads, which is an amazing story, by the way.
Nope.
What did you do? Like, okay, so, and I'm sorry, I'm about to nerd out. When you read Harry Potter for the first time, you realize he goes into Hogwarts and he doesn't know magic and he's scared shitless. It's like, everybody thinks I'm the stud because I'm all this fast, but I don't know magic and I'm scared. Like, you had this Harry Potter moment. So I got these pads on and you go out to practice. You've never done a football practice, Smoke.
No, never practiced in pads.
What did like?
Now, here's the thing now, Petty. I did play in the neighborhood. Now, I think you guys in the South might have called it throw up, bust them up. We call it throw up tackle, where you turn around, throw the ball behind you. One guy gets the ball, try to score on everybody.
But I can't say that it'll get us banned. Smear the.
Yeah. So same game. So either way, like I played football around that way.
Okay.
And I could throw, I could catch.
So you had a baseline knowledge of the game.
Oh yeah. I knew how to play. I just never played. Like I never ran behind a line that blocked. I never lined up and said, okay, run a route in a game. So I've never played with all 22. It was either whoever played, we all played, and you get it and you scored. But also I had a big brother, Omar Evans, that also taught me how to play. Okay. He went to Springbrook High School. His big brother was Sean Springs. The next one in line was supposed to be Smoke Dixon. But me being me, I went to the rival high school.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
So everyone in my family graduated from Springbrook High School, minus me.
Wow.
So you see Blue Devil, Panther. So I was that kid that purposely went against the grain just to piss everybody off.
For all of those watching that love our one Smoke Dixon, you now got a little bit of insight why he's been doing this shit since
it's been like this.
It's always poking. Always poking. Well, look, speaking of always poking, it's always fun to be here on a Monday night with my man Gerald Smoke Dixon. Man,
Petty, you want to do some more questions?
What do we got? We love playing that in the field in the backyard. K the man with the ball.
Did he play throw up tackles well too?
Game. I'm terrible at golf. Props to all the golfers. So do you play golf at all? Or do you just
all right? Listen, Petty. We all suck, bro. It's not just you, Brian. We all suck. We just go out there. Some of us a little bit better than the other.
Yeah.
But on the strength of it, we all suck. Whenever you say, "Oh, what's your handicap?" Everybody makes it up. Like, we stink. We go out there and pretend. It's a lot of business deals going out there, and I mean, my buddy, one of my good friends, JB Weber. He helped me get my game a little bit better, but we go out there, Kiowa in Charleston, South Carolina. I am the mayor of Charleston, South Carolina, or the governor, whichever one that you want. But Charleston is my spot. I love Charleston. Okay. And we go out there, Kiowa in the Ocean Course, and they hate seeing me coming because I might destroy their grass. But it's fun though.
I might be one of the more honest golfers because I hate the liars. Because you'll go out and play with these guys. I can drive it 320 yards, and you'll go out and they hit it.
Knock it off.
And you're like, you big damn liar. I'm a 7 handicap, and then they go fire at 93. Well, this was just a bad day. I'm like, okay, well,
we all have bad days on the golf course. No. Tiger has them.
I'm left-handed. I hit it pretty good, and if I can break into the 80s, I've had a hell of a day. That's what I am as a golfer.
And you know who's a real golfer? Roman Harper's pretty good.
Roman is
pretty good. Wayne Bacon says that he is, but Wayne is known to tell a few stories that aren't true.
Is Bacon a tall teller?
He's a short teller, so he tells a lot of short lies, but he might be okay. Kenny Smith. He's good at everything. He's of those. Kyle Williams and Kenny Smith are two of the better athletes that I've ever been around. Like, they're good at every daggone thing. Kyle Williams is the best bowler. Kyle Williams, LSU grad, Buffalo Bills great. Now he's back at LSU as a defensive line coach. He's a state championship wrestler. He's a state championship swimmer. He had the best arm next to Josh Allen in the building. Can pitch. And you look at him like, man, dude, you look like somebody's uncle in overalls that just shouldn't be able to do anything, but he does everything well. 6'1", short arms, strong as hell. But Kenny Smith was the same way. Golf can do it. Baseball can do it. Throw a football. Kenny was the second best long snapper. It might have been the best long snapper on our team. Just never wanted to do it because it wasn't cool. He did it in the NFL though. Yeah. Basketball, he can shoot it. So it wasn't that one thing that Big Smitty wasn't good at.
Yes.
Unlike Marvin Constant, that can't do anything except play linebacker and lift weights.
And lift weights. And flex. Smoke. Yeah. Ryder Cup course, Smoke. Yeah, I was about to say that course you're talking about, Kiowa. That's a big time course, my man.
Yeah, I hang around big time people. Shout out to the Weber family.
Okay.
And I've also Westchester in New York. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's that's great.
And I've been over in Scotland too, so I might have.
I will say this. Yes, Marvin is catching some strays, Kinafi, but Smoke will he'll fire them to a
strays. That was a straight shot. That dude can't hoop. He stinks. That dude, listen, Marvin shooting a basketball is like throwing a brick at the backboard. He'll break it. I've never seen him shoot. He can dunk because he can jump.
Does he got ups?
Oh yeah, Marvin's explosive as hell, bro. He just can't do anything. He can't dribble.
When you say he's not an athlete, that's where I'm struggling because I feel like Marvin he's got to be an athlete. He can't.
No, he's not graceful. He's not he doesn't have touch. Listen, the Joker's not an athlete, but he's skilled. Marvin's straight line speed. He can't. I mean, you make him get off the track, you'll break his ankles, man. Just don't get lined up with him because you'll knock your face off.
Oh, I didn't know. I've got a no. I'm serious. I've got a buddy I played baseball with at Hillcrest that transferred from Hillcrest to Central. That he went out to football in 9th grade. They put him at receiver, and he ran a crossing route, and that was his last day of practice. Yeah,
Marvin was bigger, stronger, fast. You're right, B. Russell. That's benching 500 pounds.
Watch Marvin hop it.
I am Marvin. I am strong. Like, dude, do something else, man.
Marvin Spidey. Marvin Spidey sensor is going off right now. The good thing for Marvin is Smoke will have him on constantly smoking this
man,
week. Y'all check it out.
Y'all go listen to that Dennis Franchione Marvin Constant story right now up on the Bama Standard.
I got pissed off today. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little pissed. And I know that y'all had a roller coaster, you and Fran, and y'all battled it out, but then you did your Smoke thing and he found out where you're from and y'all kind of are okay. But man, the way he did Marvin, and look, I get it. When a coach comes in to a new program, they're look, you say what you want, they're not worried about what's there. They're looking how they're going to build the future.
Yeah.
And so many times, and that's what you appreciate about like a Chris Baird or some of these basketball coaches that will straight up tell you, look, I do want to win. I'm building for the future, but I got some guys that have put their life into this program that are now seniors that I'm not just going to say this is a rebuilding year. We're just going to dismiss this season. No, this is these guys' final run at it. And the way he did, like, how do you treat a guy? And look, I know he doesn't know Marvin. He doesn't know his history or know what he meant to Bama. But to do that to a guy like Marvin kind of pissed me off. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know, just in the Marvin one, I've beat myself up for years that I didn't close that game out and got us off the field. So that one crushed me too, because I was like, damn, I could have done so many other things during that game not to get one of my really good friends' career ended on a play that he laid out for. Like he gave his body up for that play. Was stopping Dominic Davis on the 1 yard line with Reggie and Kenny and all those guys. No, Reggie, Miguel, Marvin. Like Marvin had the closing hit. But Fran, like I said, like his people skills sucked. He was just looking at sheer bottom line number. How can I get another guy in? This guy is telling me that his knees mangled. He can't play. And he was invested in Marvin Constant. He was invested in the
I can't worry about that. I'm going on with the program.
Right. So I'm glad that Marvin never disclosed that to me, because
might have made it worse on you.
I was a terror to Fran. Fran would have caught hell if we would have known that
he did that to Marvin.
Yeah, because Marvin was like, I mean, just think about it. I'm 17 years old when I get there. Marvin's 18. Like, we all understand that we all have dreams that we want to play in the NFL. And I've never been on a field where somebody's like knees gets mangled. Like that, my first time going to a hospital in over a couple of years was going to see Marvin Constant at the hospital that day. And if anybody knows my past, I don't do hospitals, because once my sister passed, I vowed that, listen, unless I'm going in for surgery that's going to save my life, I'm not going back. To this day, I've probably only been to the hospital my daughter's birth, my son, and my other daughter, Marvin, my nephew that passed, that's 4. Yeah, that's it. So I don't do hospitals. So going to go see Marvin that day, like I made it like, damn it, I got to go do it. And Marvin and I weren't even close like that. I just felt like I let him down. And I went over when I saw him in his days, like I've never seen Marvin like tear up or cry. Like he sat there. I looked at him. I was like, bro, I'm sorry. He's like, Smoke, come on. And like a tear ran down his face. And I was like, I got to go. And I left. But Fran saying that to him, yeah, we probably would have whooped Fran's ass.
Because here's the deal, man. You talk about that tear running down. You say what you will about Marvin. What you can't say is how much that guy loved what he did and
he loved ball.
University of Alabama. He lived and breathed football. He still lives and breathes.
And you know what, Petty? Here's the thing. A lot of people say like it's ball, but it wasn't ball.
No,
it's us, like the brotherhood.
Yeah,
because I mean, football is it's the camaraderie, and then I remember Marvin just like going away, and I was like, and we all were like, "Where's Mook at?"
Well, and that's what I'm trying to articulate, for someone to love the university the way Marvin did, for someone to give his life, his career to that university. He left his fucking career on Bryant Denny's football field.
Yep.
And people, and he still loves Alabama with all of his heart. And
he's better than me, because every time
for Alabama to have made a decision, but he doesn't equate Fran and Alabama as the same thing. So that's one thing that makes him so special, because Marvin can subtract Fran from the university and not let Fran change his mindset about something that meant so much to him. And maybe I can articulate it. That's what I'm trying to get the point out.
Well, he eloquently did that well. On our first episode of Constantly Smoking. If y'all out there, please go check that out. And I did a really good impression of Fran too. Fran in the Matrix.
The nerdy white guy impression. The nerdy white guy impression was really good.
He's not. Fran ain't nerdy. Fran is just.
He's got that geeky.
Nasally talk like that. And he's like a. It's not even like a Midwest. He's like whatever you call Kansas. Here we go, Smoke. Let me get my man Tank Blunt. Smoke. We know that Mbakwe is an elite athlete, but do you think he should have stayed on defensive side with the depth of the wide receiver room? I don't think he has a defensive mentality. I think he's an offensive player that's forced to play defense. And when you force a man against his will, he's going to resort to the same thing. And that's wanting to go to offense. It's almost like what Herschel Bolden, for guys who don't remember Herschel Bolden. Herschel Bolden was in that magnificent class of 1999, aka Cool Whip. Herschel was a better athlete than me. Period. He was bigger than I am. He was as fast, strong as hell, better ball skills. But I just had a desire not to give in to bullcrap. And I was way more mature than Herschel was in college. And that's what made me a better player than Herschel. But Herschel played defense before I did in terms of getting on the field. But I got on the field as a special team player and just worked my way up. But Herschel played receiver in our sophomore year, caught a few balls. Like Coach Sweeney wanted Herschel to play receiver. Herschel was a true athlete coming in, just like I was, but he had better ball skills. But he never had the defensive back I don't give to about what happens. And if you don't have your give a shit gauge, excuse my language, need to be I give a shit, but I really don't give a shit. Yeah. And it all has to equal out. Because if you give too much and you care too much about getting beat, and I was just talking to my man Vaughn Hutchinson about this yesterday. Vaughn played at Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. I know you're gonna love this. Played at Ole Miss. Vaughn. Indianapolis Colts. Now he's a general manager of the DC Defenders. Yeah. We partnered this thing up. I left, made sure my man Vaughn got in. I take care of my people, Petty. But if we were talking about just the mindset of a DB, that once you lose confidence, that all you turn into now is just a tackler. All you're doing is just tackling. Everyone throws a hitch on you. You're never jumping it. You're never breaking it because you're just playing so tentative. And when you saw Mbakwe, you saw the athleticism, you see the skill set, elite athlete in terms of movement. But the last player that's sticking out is his mentality of being a defensive back. Like, we're going to get cooked. We're going to get roasted. You're going to get baptized. You're going to get beat. You're going to get embarrassed. But your mindset has to be, you know what? That was then. I'm going to bust your ass now. And when I do it, I'm going to clown on you. And if a receiver catches 6 footballs for 60 yards, I have 2 pass breaks and a pick 6, I win. Even though you caught 6 on me, I don't give a shit about those 6. What about the pick 6? And what about the 2 pass breakups? That's all I care about. But when you care about, oh man, he caught the ball there, and like, man, listen, bro,
it's football. You'll freeze.
They catch them.
Yeah,
make them pay. Hit them hard. Break it up.
Short-term memory loss.
Come on, man.
Got a short-term memory at DB, right?
Here we go. We got a couple more that you start here.
Smoke, the questions are firing in here at the end. You got a few minutes for some questions for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it going.
Ephraim wanted to know, with that being said, Smoke, what was Marvin's options after the career-ending injury? I know you.
You know what, Ephraim, you put Smoke in all capital letters, man. I'm messing.
He's from Hillcrest, man. Give us a break.
You know what? So Marvin was a sheriff. Matter of fact,
he was the sheriff.
He was a sheriff. While. Crazy story, all right. And he probably tell it better than I can. He used to pull us over. So we talking about Athens. He used to pull us over while we're coming from whatever local hydration hole that we're coming from. I'm talking about we're drinking water, all clear water.
H2O.
H2O. And he used to pull us over and catch us to be scared out of their mind. That you see that big joker come up laughing. But yeah, he got into that, and now I mean Marvin's about to be like a Fortune 500 company billionaire, man.
Marvin's smart, man. He decided not to be a cop and use his brain.
Nah, you know what? So here's what happened. So I forced Marvin to go back to school and graduate to get his degree. I was a part of.
Y'all ended up going back, right?
Yeah, I was a part of John Deaver's. I'm the best.
Hold on. I'm gonna throw the flag for a second. 20-second timeout.
Go ahead.
You taking all this credit to get Marvin back in college? Why don't we give credit to the real person? That is Miss Dixon. who said,
Absolutely, yes.
get your butt back
Oh,
there.
bro,
She made
listen,
a promise.
man. Hey, listen, if anybody knows me, there's a couple of things that I'm stubborn as hell, okay, to a fault, but a good fault. Because if I respect what you're saying, I'll listen. If I don't respect a damn thing that you're saying, listen, you're talking to a deaf ears. So this is like my third year, and Dennis Alexander, of all people, graduates. And I'm like, that dude is, listen, man, Dennis ain't the smartest whip in the book. But he's a great offensive coordinator right now at Alabama A&M with Sam Shade. But I was like, if Dennis graduate and I don't graduate, hell no. Nah. But I was like, man, I ain't going back to school. So I'm on the phone with Stacia. That time, we were just really good friends. So Stacia and I were very good friends before we became husband and wife. Figured out how you guys want to put that together. But like, she was hella cool and we stayed in contact all the time. But there's an article that when I was in college, when I was in high school, that said I'm going to graduate and give my diploma to my mother because my dad did everything for us. My dad from Jamaica, first grade reading level, not because he's not smart, just because it was never pushed on him for education. So he made sure that all of us, like, reading was our thing. And I was like, I want to be the first one to graduate from college. And I'm number 6 in the 7 kids of Gerald and Jean. So she pulls out this article. And it's like, oh, yeah, how you going to have this article and say that you want to do this and you have the opportunity to go back to school? Dennis graduated. You should graduate. And I said, hey, listen, Stacey, I ain't going to front. Okay. That degree ain't making me no money right now. So you and that degree and that all that time, y'all can take that and go wipe y'all with it. I ain't doing it. She gets my mother involved.
Trump card.
And now Jean's on my head. She's like, why don't you just go back? It's like, just go down there. So I was like, hold up. If I'm going back to school, I ain't going back down there by myself. Because I'm not one of those weirdos that the old guys go back down there and the young kids are there. You want to hang out with that? I thought that was like creepy and gross anyway. So I was like, hey, you know what? I got to get some of my boys to come back down to school with me. 1-900-15. Freddie, listen, bro, you got to come back to school and graduate. You got to finish up. I'm giving him the pitch. 15, come back. Sig, come on down. Kevin Sigler, come on back. We got to finish up. So John Devers gave me a list of all the guys that he wanted to get cleared off his book. So I'm sitting there, old school, going through them, calling them. Hey, Q Jack, you coming back? Quincy Jackson, yep. Get to this damn Marvin Constant. All right, Mook. I know I haven't talked to you in a long time. But you're about such and such hours away from graduating. Don't you want to come back? Hell nah, Smoke. I said, hey, bro. I'm going back. And I ain't doing this crap by myself. So me, Marvin, DG, Quincy Jackson, Reggie Grimes, we all go back down there. It's like a whole big family reunion and B-Side 5 party every single weekend and finish up. So, and Kenny Smith got Big Smitty on it too. Called him back and he finished up. So it's the next one that we got to get on the tab is Sean Ray. We got to get 2 back in and we got to get 2 to graduate, man.
I love it, man. Look, those stories of going back, finishing, got the wife, got the mom involved. Your wife kind of started. I mean, there's a lot of dudes that got degrees on that wall that all started with your wife. I think
they all need to play nice to Stacia. I don't play nice to her most of the time. And you know how that is.
Bless her. Where did y'all meet? I think someone wants to know, where did y'all meet, Smoke? Knappy.
We all. I mean, we went to college together, so we're all at Rhodes.
Bama girl, right?
Yeah. She's a Bama fanatic.
Like her dad, like she's got like some ties.
Her dad is an Auburn fan.
Oh,
her mother is an Alabama fan. So her mother's side, Bama. Her father's side, Cal College. So yeah, I met Stacia in Rose. Matter of fact, Rose Towers. Because we both stayed in Rose. Got her number, old school now. Old school Matt. Got her number. I never went to class on time. Okay. So she's leaving her class. I'm going to my class. I'm like, hold on. I'd have seen you a few times. And she used to wink at me, like flirt with me. She said she would. She said, oh no, she's lying. So I caught her in the parking lot between Reese Pfeiffer. You remember that old parking lot that used to be right there? Absolutely. And then the stadium was right there.
That's where I parked. That's where I went to school.
Yeah, and that's where you got a bunch of daggone tickets too.
Yeah.
I could have told you if you parked across the street in those apartments over there, you could have got away with it. But old school. So I got her number there. I didn't call her for like 2 months. so she saw me and she's like, "Hey, you got my number? You ain't gonna call me?" I was like, I totally forgot.
Dude. Not a good start.
So I ended up calling her. We end up just being like really, really close friends, like friends. And then a few years down the line, 2010, we're married. Married in January, knocked her up in March, baby in December. All of our kids, all of our kids
world champ
are all December babies. Okay? All of them during March Madness.
Get excited during basketball time.
She got pregnant the same time every single year, the first week of March Madness.
That is great.
Two kids, December 7th, and my son, December 3rd.
Smoke is a 3-time world champ, and he apparently likes being a champion in basketball season.
I told you I'm good at it. Next one.
Chris Camp, back to serious questions, I guess. Who's the closest build and style and speed is Arenas on the team now? LOL, that's who needs to return kicks.
Oh, you know what? I don't think there's a Javier Arenas in Bama history. Javier Arenas is one of my favorite football players in Alabama history. I can't find one right now.
Switchblade, it should have been.
Huh?
His nickname should have been Swiss Army Knife because he did it all.
Yeah. So Javi, I told Javi when I signed him in Buffalo as our punt returner back in 2015. I signed him. I wish I played with Javier Arenas. He played the game, high level intelligence, tough as hell, faster than what people give him credit for. One of the best playmakers with the ball in his hands. If I had to go back and rank out Alabama players, I would put him in the top 10 of my favorites. Yeah.
Also a really good dude. I got to meet
solid
Javi
dude
after the storms in April 27th storms. I worked at the VA at the time and we kind of became ground zero for a lot of it. And Javi came out, got to walk him around. One of the better people, man. Javi's just a straight up good dude.
Good dude. We spent a lot of time in my office up in Buffalo.
He's a Swiss Army knife. It's hard. Yeah, I don't know if we've got a Javi exactly on this team.
Javi different.
Tam wants to know, best player on defense, Damani Jackson? That's a good question for you, Smoke.
No. Damani's going to have to hold on to see if he can start over that young boy, man. I'm telling you. That young boy's on his neck.
Is Lee pushing Damani?
He's on his neck. I like Damani.
Hubbard may turn out to be Hubbard's.
I think he's okay. I mean, I don't think he's like
who's best player on the defense? That's a good question right now.
That defense is so. Let me see. They're gonna say Overton is probably the best player right now.
He's got to learn to finish.
He got to learn how to do a lot of things. Xavier Brown. I mean. There's not a lot of names over there.
Maybe Mincy, one of the kids in the secondary. What to say, man? I think that position.
We're a long ways away to find out who the best player on defense is.
Well, the best player on the defense is going in the draft, Campbell. So I think we got a minute to figure out who it is.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of players anyway, man. This again, Bama fans. We don't have a first rounder on that. No, Hubbard. No, knock it off.
Not yet.
Knock it off. If he's the best, we suck. Yeah, knock it off. If he's the best, we suck. He has to be one of the better players, but he can't be the best.
Yeah, I got you.
No, not that. Whoa, no way. You guys will be buying daggone peanuts at some type of fundraiser at some garbage bowl game if Hubbard is your best player. Good guy, good player, but he can't be your best. If he's, in matter of fact, you don't even want him to start.
Well, that's what I was saying, Kanafi. I know it was Campbell this year. I don't know who it is now that Campbell's gone. I don't know if I'm ready to award. I don't.
Jefferson's out there. I mean, Lawson's not going to play for a long time. Sab, we just saw he's still in the boot. in terms of veteran play.
Well, Smith. I mean, maybe one of the
all those players that play the Bandit, the Wolf, the Raccoon, the Hamster, all those names, I don't even know. Man. I think this is a good group of players that we're going to have to see, get a defined role and play it at a high level. Good players, I just can't pick one.
I think that's great. I think that's a great way to say it, Smoke. I think there's a lot of good players. There's a lot of names. We can just name names of guys that can be that
Jefferson.
guy.
You can just start rolling them out.
Yeah, but I'm not sure anybody has stepped up to take the mantle.
No.
Yet. I want to see it before I name one because I think there's a lot that can do it. I'm just not sure who the hell it is.
And we just in Freddie Roach, this is his year that his defensive line got to be worth a damn.
Yeah, I mean,
they got to come back and play and control the line of scrimmage and win the trenches. I know that he can coach it up.
Yeah,
I know that he can. He's just going to have to come with it.
Improve on that. Got to improve on that. Smoke, where can we find you, brother?
Oh, on Mondays, opening kick, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, with my man Daniel Pettey, the upside down title towel guy.
Man,
that finally figured out how to get it right side up.
I've been almost 100% here lately.
And on Tuesdays, Bama Standard, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, with myself, Daniel, Justin, the funniest guy in the world, Steven Brown, the sexiest guy in the world, Marvin Constant. And I heard we got somebody dropping by tomorrow, maybe the best hands in the secondary in the history of Alabama, KJ.
He's coming by tomorrow. Are you not going to be there, Smoke?
Nah. Okay. So this is why I'm not going to be there. And don't get pissed off at me. Last week, my oldest, Sakaya Maurice Dixon. Okay. First of all, she's a great athlete. Now she's running track. I missed her track meet last week because it was too brutally cold, and I didn't want to take the 2 younger ones out there. Mom is supposed to be videotaping us, but Mom is from Birmingham, Alabama, and it got brutally cold for her in Tennessee. Wink, wink. So my daughter was running a 4x2, and someone had a lead on her, let's say 20 meters, and she walked her down.
Does she got the gene?
Yeah, but see, it's not my genes. It's Miss Jean's genes, my mother's.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a couple Olympians as well in the family. So
you're freaking Jamaican. Of course you damn do.
Yeah.
We're going to have a whole podcast on how an island that small produces so many of the fastest humans to ever live. But
because we're different.
Wow. How does it happen?
It's the yams.
It was not the damn answer I was expecting. Per capita, it makes no sense. The numbers just don't add up for the level of freak that comes from that amazing island that you come from, my brother.
No doubt about it.
Good stuff. So wait, so you were getting she walked her down.
So she walked her down, ran her best time. I want to say they broke the school record, and it was cold as heck out there. But so she told me, Dad, you can't miss the next one, so I got to show up and show out and support.
Nice. Hey, you got to. So we will miss you tomorrow night, but we will have Kevin Jackson on. We will ask him why Smoke left George Teague off of his top 5 list, even if Smoke's not there.
And maybe I missed it on purpose because I left 2 of the better ones off.
Well, we need to bring Roman on because Roman was the only one of us dumbasses that had Kevin smart enough to put Kevin on that list.
Yeah, I mean KJ's the best ball hawk.
Dude was baller, man.
So yeah, I'm on dad duty tomorrow for the track meet, and I think I'm gonna be an assistant coach out there as well too. So yeah. I love track.
Probably not the worst guy to have out there working on.
No, but I don't know if my daughter wants me to. My daughter wants me to train. I don't know if she wants me to go into overdrive, but it's getting close. So
it's harder to do with your own kid. It's just weird, that dynamic. It's like your kid does better getting coached from other people than you.
Nah, listen. My daughter's just she's hell to coach. She's one of those talented people that can do whatever she wants, but you gotta drive her. You gotta drive her, push her. Ledge.
Okay. I was gonna say like hard-headed like you. No,
she got a lot of her daddy in her now.
You gotta say, okay.
Yeah, a lot. If I don't want to do it, it ain't happening.
She got the genes. Well, I will be here tomorrow, but hey, also check out the new show, Constantly Smoking.
Y'all, listen, I tell y'all what. Go on, check on that first episode, and if it's not heat, y'all tell me what I need to do and improve it. I promise you, Marvin and I are just. We're storytelling. You know, we're bringing that heat, unfiltered, straight gospel, the truth on hot topics. And, you know, there are one or two stories off in there where, you know, we usually don't tell on other platforms.
That's right. Hey, and I get excited about new shows on the network. I was one of them this year with my man Smoke. We love it. This is one I'm really excited about. I checked it out. Don't miss Constantly Smoking. What he just said, man, what you guys love the most about these shows are when the guys get into the storytelling, and that's what they did Saturday. Not going to go too far in it. Some Fran stories, some good stuff with Marvin, some good stuff with Smoke. They're going to get together on Saturdays and pipe out that gold, so don't miss it. But also, hey, follow me. I'm going to be back Thursday. March Madness is rolling, going hard in the paint. We will probably go post-game since Bama's tipping off around 7. We will probably do a post-game show around 9:30-ish. Win, lose, or draw. Hopefully win after the big BYU game. So check us out, Going Hard in the Paint. Again, I'm here on Mondays. I'll be back tomorrow night with Kevin Jackson and the guys on the Bama Standard. With that said, man, it's always a pleasure sharing the stage with my man, Gerald Smoke Dixon. I always bring in the heat, but always telling, look, just getting it. I feel like we just get to know each other on the show. Let the people out here get to know us. So stay with us. Keep the questions coming, and we'll be back next week.